Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Gina Barrett, a program director with the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm here with Osamase Ekhator, a high school relationships manager for Citizens Bank. Osamase, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your role as a high school relationship manager. What does that mean? What are your responsibilities?
So as a high school relationship manager, I have to basically build relationships with high schools. And so for more details, it's basically whether it's me reaching out to new clients or pre-existing clients and just trying to make sure we build a relationship with them. What we do on a daily is we actually host presentations for high school students, usually juniors and seniors, and then even their parents, because as you know, parents usually are the actual decision makers when it comes to, what school you're going to go to. So we host presentations, whether it be during the school day or even after the school day, so that, parents are out of work. And we talk about several topics, but all financial aid. So, how to apply for FAFSA, how to apply for the CSS profile, which some students may have to do depending on their school they're attending. What are different types of financial scholarships, grants, federal work study, loans. And then we kind of talk a little bit about the loans as well and some of the solutions that citizens can offer students that are looking to fill the gap. And so that's kind of overall what we talk about, but we also have presentations on credit, understanding your financial budgeting and everything of that nature, and also, your financial aid offer letter as well. So that's what we do. That is my role. And honestly, it's just, I enjoy helping our communities. It's knowledge that I wish I had when I was younger. And that's kind of the joy that I get from my job.
When you were growing up, did you realize that you were passionate about certain things? And did that play into maybe what you chose for a career? And along the same lines, what is it that makes you really great at what you do now?
Great question, and it's kind of twofold. So growing up, did I know I wanted to do this? I didn't know if I wanted to be in financial services, but, what I did know is the power of banking and what it can do for dreams. So some background on me, my family, I am a first generation student. So my parents came straight from Nigeria in the 80s. And, a story that has always stuck with me is that my dad came here first to kind of set up everything. And then my mom finally came after to join him. And he told my mom when she first came to America that I don't ever want you working under somebody. So what he did was he helped create a store, our family store, which is still up and running. That store is older than me. It's been a great blessing to our family. And we were able to do that with a loan from a bank. And that story has always stuck with me, just knowing, the power of what banking can do for communities and funding that American dream. So I didn't know necessarily I wanted to be in financial services, but I just knew that was something that was dear to me. And, why? So your second part of the question, why am I good at what I do? Obviously, from behind the scenes kind of a viewpoint, I'd say I have great work ethic. And I'm very organized. That's something that I had to develop. I was not organized from the get-go, but, how to get burned a little bit and finally learn how to be organized. That's behind the scenes. But the crux of my job is, once again, it's building and managing relationships. And so when you build and manage relationships, of course, there's business guidelines of make sure you're reaching out to your clients, once a month, or, you're calling them every month, things like that. But it's really the conversations you have with your, whether it be potential or pre-existing clients. And, that's as easy as asking, how are you doing? Or even in the current times you're in, asking them, I hope everyone that is okay, or even the people that you work with, I hope everyone's okay and healthy. And, it's just those personal moments that it's more than just a business relationship. It's, I genuinely care for you, and whether it also be talking about sports or just other things, understanding the area that they live in, and saying anything that can really strike a chord with them. And so it's just having those kind of conversations. And, the way I kind of built that ability to communicate was obviously growing up. I come from a big family. I am the youngest. So just knowing how to talk to older people. And then even in high school, and more importantly, I'd say college. College is where you really learn how to communicate with different people. If you're living on campus or now even on Zoom, when you're communicating with people that are from different areas of life, whether it be different states or different family backgrounds, different majors, different interests, you have to learn how to communicate with them. You may have team projects with them and things of that nature. So really, that's when I developed my communication skills, being able to have the ability to relate to people. And I would say lastly is also listening to people. You could talk someone's ear off, and people love to talk about themselves, but you have to also know how to listen, because when you're able to listen and ask the right questions, that kind of helps you guide the conversation into a way that's beneficial for both of you. If you go into a meeting with, here's what I'm going to talk about, it may end up being pushy. You might end up taking it into a direction that it doesn't need to go. But when you actually hear what they need, now you can adjust, and now it's a fruitful conversation.
Do you have anything extra that you would say that you would maybe want a high school or middle school student even to know? Is there some kind of advice you would have for them that maybe they should be thinking about or doing right now while they're still in school?
Well, I would say first off, enjoy your young years, right? And I'm still young, obviously, right? But enjoy your time in middle school, enjoy your time in high school, because those are times that you're gonna look back on. And you may have your up and downs, but once again, you're gonna learn from those experiences. So it's okay to enjoy your time. And what I'll say is, first off, know what your passions are. Before I want to be, whether it be a high school relationship manager or I want to work for whatever company. Know what you're interested in. Know what you're good at. For me, I knew writing was what I was good at. I knew that I loved to write stories, and at the same time, I love to tell stories. So that's what I knew growing up. Now, as you get older and older and you start to realize in particular what you really want to do your research. So whether that be even looking at, the average salary for a job, that is something that's okay to look at. There are websites on there that, you could type into Google, average salary for so-and-so, and at least you have an idea of, okay, that's how much I could make, because that's another thing that goes into, career decisions based on whatever it may be. You want to see how much you're going to make. Research companies that you may be interested in, whether it be, looking at their history, looking at what they're currently doing, also looking at, people that work for them. So we have LinkedIn now. LinkedIn back then wasn't really as big as it is now, for students. And so just going on to LinkedIn, obviously building your own LinkedIn and having, your profile that looking great and all that. But when you look at other people that, let's say you want to work for a Citizens Bank, right? Look at who works for Citizens. If they have a position that you would like to get, see what school they went to, see what major they had, see what other extracurricular activities they did, see what volunteer opportunities they did, right? And now you're building an ideal candidate. You're saying, okay, this is who they like, so maybe I can build my story around the same thing with my own little twist onto it. So do your research, and when it's interview time, that research will come in hand. You always want to know, if you have the ability to know who's actually going to interview you. That's always a plus, because you can do your research on them. You can bring that to the table. And like I said earlier, right, asking the right questions, it's the same thing in an interview. So they may be interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them because they want you to accept their company if they offer you that final offer. And so being able to say, hey, Gina, I noticed that you worked for so-and-so before you came here. What makes this company so better than the other company you worked for? Questions like that are more personal, and it just shows that you did your research. That's what I would say for students that are just whether it be a job that I currently have, or any job. Find your passions, do your research, and then really prepare yourself to get that dream job.
Well, Osamase, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciated all of the information that you've given us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me today.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!